Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. Once in a while, I get the question of what my long-term plan is to exit all of my positions in all of these boxes of cards, the reserve list, singles, and everything else. And I think I may have a somewhat different long-term plan than most of you. I have Final Trade. I eventually would like to open a card store. I have a lot of other things, other avenues that I could use to exit parts or most, or maybe even all of the position in the long term. If Final Trade, though, were to one day just absolutely collapse around me, or I somehow got fed up and I just shut the whole thing down and I was left with all these boxes, then I would be in the same boat. And so I don't think it's that big of a problem. And I know people out there watching these videos, they probably range in quantities of, say, 20 boxes to, say, 1,000 boxes. I know there are a couple of you out there at least with way more than that, but I don't think I need to tell those people how to exit their positions. I think they know exactly how they're going to do it. But people from all kinds of range of quantities, the plan is the same. Basically, what I would do is I would just use my existing TCG player account, or you could start one if you don't have one, and I would put 2 or 3 boxes at a time for sale up on TCG Player. And then let's say I had a whole bunch of the same box, I would just slightly raise the price. After one sold, the next box would go in a couple of dollars higher, or I would switch and I would sell something else at a couple of dollars over whatever the current market price was. And over a long period of time, I would just slowly sell through the boxes. And I think that would do fine. It would mean that you wouldn't be putting out much effort into it every single day. You wouldn't be having an entire second job to get rid of the boxes. It would just be that once in a while, TCG Player would send you an email saying that you had made a sale, and you would box up the box, you would mail it to the customer, and then you would list another one. It really wouldn't be a big deal. And if you wanted to wait until you were in retirement and it was something that you worked on for 20 or 30 minutes a week, it certainly would not be a burden. The plus sides of this are that over time, as you're listing the boxes slowly, selling through them slowly, almost all of them are going to continue to go up in price in that period. So it would make a very low stress way to slowly get rid of the boxes over a long period of time. And like I've shown in my Pokemon videos where I show long-term returns on Pokemon boxes, even if you took a 50% haircut and you just sent it all to Rudy, some of those Pokemon boxes are still very profitable over the long term, taking a 50% haircut at the end. So, there's plenty of options. You don't have to think of this as some kind of thing where you would have to create a whole nother full-time job for yourself to get rid of boxes at some point in your future. And again, these are unserialized bearer assets. So if you needed to, you just pass them on to your children, and there's no issue with that. So think about that. I don't see this as any kind of problem, any kind of thing I worry about with my continued accumulation of boxes now or in the future. And especially since, like I said at the beginning, I'm in a slightly different position where I'm running Final Trade, and I have patrons who have bought boxes from me. I have, I run the sealed sales where I sell some of them. I also sell product that I am acquiring presently in the sealed sales. And in the future, there's a lot of opportunity for me to add and remove from my inventory in all kinds of ways. So, but for all of y'all out there watching Final Trade, well, just remember it's not really that big of a deal to list up 4 or 5 boxes at a time on a marketplace and wait for them to sell, and then list up a couple more behind it and wait for those to sell, and just do it slowly over a matter of years and years as something that you just tend to for a couple of minutes a week. Let me know what you think. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.